everybody. Welcome to the Jenny VIP Thought Series. This is just like a little mini-sode series that I've been developing over the past few months. Essentially, I just want to be more in touch and be more transparent and honestly more alignment with all of you who've been listening to the podcast. These little episodes are really meant to give you all just real thought snapshots in the moment. Things that I think, that I'm struggling with or emotions that I'm going through. I want to be able to share them with all of you because I want you to know that we're all going through this. And, if you're having a particularly rough week, like maybe one of these little mini-sodes might resonate with you because we all have them. Life has tons of ups and downs, and I think it's just important to know that you're not in it alone. And this is really what the point of all these are. So you won't hear the same topic over and over again. Most likely it's going to be very different from episode to episode. But I really hope that you find them helpful. And, I would love to hear from you on them. So let's take a listen.
Hello, everybody. As is usual, the only quiet time I have is when I'm in the car, when I make an escape from my house with my kids. I wanted to hop on this week, and what I'm doing, and what you'll notice in all my VIP thought modules is that it's like kind of like little quick hits. And the reason for that is I really want it to be more of a in the moment, in the emotion um, thoughts, because I think that we all have like ups and downs throughout our days, and we all have like really great weeks or really terrible weeks and everything, and it's really quite normal. Sometimes you will spiral from it, and that's why I want to do these like little individual module recordings, because you don't have to spiral from it. There's methods that you can employ that will keep it from getting so out of control that like you start to have like week after week after week of like bad weeks. Um, Years and years and years ago, oh my gosh, like 15 years ago or so, I was also, I was very much the kind of person that like if one thing went wrong, like I would go down a path in my head of like just uncontrollable, almost rage that would go from like, oh, this thing at work didn't work. Well, I'm sure it didn't work because, you know, everything's falling apart and this probably won't work either. And then I would go down this path of like just everything was like shit. But it's not true. A bad moment doesn't mean it's bad life. And I actually say that to my kids a lot because they'll have, their kids. I had two 6-year-olds and one 7-year-old, and they'll have these moments where they'll say like, "Oh, I'm having such a terrible day," after we've had like a beautiful day, and they're just having like a bad moment. And so even now when they're little, I'm like, they probably think I'm crazy. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. And when they have those little meltdowns, I'll say to them, it's not a bad day, it's a bad moment, or it's not a bad week, it's a bad moment. And I just kind of remind them of that. They don't know why I'm doing it, but I know why I'm doing it because I'm trying to teach them now how to recognize it's just a bad moment. Just take a breath, you're going to get through it, and it's okay. Um, on that note, I also have to do that self-talk to myself because I also have bad moments and meltdowns. Case in point, I am just feeling it with my 9 to 5 pretty intensely. My work is very unforgiving, and it's intense, and there's a lot of ups and downs, and the highs are really high, but the lows can get pretty bad. Um, and it takes a lot out of you, almost like emotionally. It's draining. I work from home. I'm not doing I'm not doing a physical labor job. God bless all those people, because I physically, like, I don't know if I'm equipped for it, but my job is mental. It's mental. It's communications. It's a lot of talking, and it's a lot of how are we going to present this, and sort of those scenarios. And it's draining in a lot of cases because you have to talk it out a lot, and everybody gets involved, and there's just a lot of hands in the pot, and just kind of negotiating things down to, okay, this is the messaging that we're going to be providing people. It's exhausting. And I remember when I started in the industry, I was just enthralled with the industry and I loved it so much. And I still love it. I still have a passion for the industry, but I'm finding more and more, I guess it's the older that I get, the more woke that I get, the more I meditate, the more I'm focusing on being in alignment, like true alignment with my life and with the life that I want to cultivate. That's where I'm starting to hit up against the wall because the job that I have is the job that I visualized and worked for almost for my entire life. This is the job that I've dreamed about. But I'm here now. And at this point in my life, I realize I might have been dreaming about this job my whole life, but now I've shifted my alignment into what it's truly meant to be. And this job that I've worked so hard for, I'm realizing is not in alignment with me. It's not really bringing me joy. It's actually bringing me quite a bit of pain because it takes me away from my family. It's exhausting. And so I've been kind of on this journey mentally trying to kind of break out of this. Oh, it feels like a prison almost that I've built around myself. And it's crazy because I would have never thought of it like that 10 years ago. If somebody had told me 10 years ago, Jen, this is what you're going to achieve by the time you're 39, I would have been ecstatic at the at the knowledge of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get that high in my career. Like this is amazing. I knew it. I knew I could do it. And I am proud of myself for where I'm at and how much I've accomplished, but the what it's taking from me is so much more. What it's taking from me is so much more than I realized it would. And I didn't know that I was fighting for something that was actually going to be pushing me out of alignment and out of real pure joy. It was hard for me because it, it's almost like two sides of myself, that the ego and then the ego and then the true me, the true I am, are in this massive battle right now. And I feel like I'm on the cusp of something greater. And I'm like, it feels like I'm like pulling myself out of a swamp. That's what it feels like. And it's scary. And I keep having these urges to go back to to default to I'm used to doing when I'm feeling like this. And I don't want to do that because I know that I really, really desperately want to be in alignment and in pure joy. And if I default to what feels safe and what I know I can control, I'm going to be staying on this path for the rest of my life. And I have to let that ego go so that I can really reach this pure, joyous path that I've been chiseling away at. It truly, truly feels like I've built up this massive brick house around me to keep myself safe and to control everything. And I've been slowly chiseling away at that foundation over the past few months to just break free and be out in the sunlight. And so this week was particularly hard for me because, well, the past few weeks have been particularly hard for me because I feel like I am busting out of that brick house. And as I break every brick by brick that I take down, it's scary. It is. It's scary. It's crazy. And as I'm talking through this, it's almost like I'm working it out in my head. And it's kind of cathartic in a way. And I am going to make this dream come true that I have because I always achieve my goals and I'm sticking with that rhetoric in my head. I always achieve what I want. I am going to bust out of this house and I am going to get that joyous alignment
Thank you for listening to Jenny's little VIP thought episode. I hope you did find it helpful. And again, these are little mini quick hits, so won't take too much of your day. And I hope that it just brings you some clarity, some peace, maybe some joy in some instances, knowing that, we're sort of all in this together. Check out some of our full episodes, which have guests and my co-host and, lots of great things in them. But I hope that these mini-sodes are helpful to you. Thank you and take care.